China just lit a fire under the global AI race. Tencent, BYU, and Huawei have unleashed a wave of open-source AI models that are not only massive in scale, but surprisingly efficient, fast, and shockingly capable. We're talking about models with hundreds of billions of parameters, lightning-fast reasoning, and ultra-long memory, completely free and ready to deploy. While OpenAI and Google keep their top models locked behind paywalls, Chinese labs are flooding GitHub with tools that challenge the closed model status quo. And now the question isn't if they'll disrupt the market, it's how soon. In this video, we're breaking down the biggest AI drops from China, what makes them so powerful, and why Western tech giants should be paying very close attention. Let's start with Tencent, because what they just dropped has tech insiders buzzing. Their new model, Hunyuan A13B, is the kind of release that shouldn't be possible at its size. It's housed in an 80 billion parameter framework, but only 13 billion parameters activate at runtime. This sparse mixture of experts setup gives it the power of a heavyweight with the energy cost of a lightweight, which is a huge deal for deployment. But it doesn't stop there. This model boasts 256,000 tokens of context memory, far beyond what GPT-4 or Gemini currently offer. That's enough to process entire books, hours of conversation, or massive databases without forgetting key details. And thanks to group query attention and NTK-aware positional encoding, it handles that massive input without getting confused or bloated. Tencent didn't just train it on a huge dataset. They used 20 trillion tokens, an amount most Western models haven't even come close to. Then they layered it with smart fine-tuning methods like fast annealing, followed by supervised learning and reinforcement. The result? It matches or beats much larger models on major benchmarks like math, logic, and code. It even supports dual reasoning modes. With a simple prompt switch, you can toggle between fast answers or step-by-step logical reasoning, something even ChatGPT doesn't currently offer. What's more, it's built for action. The model was trained on 20,000 plus tool use scenarios, from spreadsheet edits and SQL queries to real-time search and error correction. And yes, it's completely open source, available on Hugging Face and GitHub, with flexible licenses for schools, startups, and enterprise use. This isn't just an impressive release, it's a wake-up call. Tencent's A13B shows that China is now building world-class AI that's not only powerful, but cheap, accessible, and ready to scale. While Tencent showcased raw engineering muscle, BYU took a different approach, building a reasoning-based search engine unlike anything we've seen before. Traditional AI search systems often fail when a query demands multi-step logic or resolving contradictions. BYU fixed that with a 4-agent relay model that mimics analytical problem-solving. Here's how it works. A master agent evaluates the question's complexity. If it detects layered logic, it hands the task to a planner, which breaks the question into smaller, solvable pieces using a directed acyclic graph. Then, an executor selects the proper tools, reattempts failed queries, and bridges gaps and retrieve content. Finally, a writer agent compiles a clean, conflict-free response. In practice, it solves tasks like, who lived longer, Caesar or Wu of Han, by calculating lifespans using reliable facts, not hallucinations or stitched summaries. This makes BYU's system far more dynamic and resilient than current RAG pipelines from US labs. Then came the real surprise. Baidu, previously firm on keeping its Ernie series closed, flipped the script. On June 30th, they open-sourced 10 Ernie 4.5 models, ranging from compact 300M versions to a massive 424 billion parameter multimodal release. This sudden transparency shift sent shockwaves through the AI space. Why does it matter? Because deployment cost is now a major battleground. Open-source models reduce GPU bills by 60 to 80%, and Baidu's team claims their latest Ernie X1 matches DeepSeek R1's performance at half the price. As US firms like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google maintain tight control, Chinese companies are flipping the narrative. Fast iterations, cheaper infrastructure, and global-scale releases without a paywall. CTOs watching their budgets are taking note, and so are researchers demanding open weights for experimentation. This isn't a side note, it's a serious strategic maneuver. With better affordability, dynamic tool integration, and scalable architecture, China's AI movement is not just catching up, it's changing the rules of the game. As BYU and Baidu dominated headlines, Huawei wasn't about to stay quiet. On the exact same day, they open-sourced not one, but two Pangu models, a 7 billion parameter version and a more powerful 72 billion parameter Pangu Pro, using its own mixture of experts architecture. What's notable is that both models are pre-optimized for Huawei's Ascend chips, giving developers near plug-and-play efficiency with tailored inference performance. This isn't just a technical win, it's a vertical integration strategy. By aligning models with proprietary hardware, Huawei ensures faster rollout, tighter control, and a boost for China's domestic AI ecosystem. Reports from Commercial Times suggest that with contributions from DeepSeek, Moonshot, Miniax, Alibaba, and others, Chinese vendors have driven large model runtime costs down by 40% to 80% compared to last year. Behind this wave is more than innovation, it's policy. The Chinese government's AI roadmap, aiming for global leadership by 2030, is backing these developments with serious infrastructure and compute investments. Experts forecast that China could reach 90% compute self-sufficiency in 5 years, reshaping the landscape for global AI leadership. Meanwhile, on the US side, leading companies like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic continue operating behind closed doors. Their systems remain locked behind APIs, controlled access, and paywalls. While that protects against regulatory scrutiny and potential misuse, it also stifles collaborative growth and third-party innovation. Industry critics argue that open-source ecosystems iterate faster, localize better, and democratize AI access more effectively. And they're not wrong. Every time a top-tier Chinese lab publishes open weights, the pressure mounts. The licensing map we've known for years is rapidly being redrawn, and with enterprises expected to adopt open models by the majority next year, the financial case is becoming impossible to ignore. Skeptics still raise flags about data sourcing transparency, model origin, and trust in foreign providers. But others point out that the speed, quality, and affordability of these models are too compelling to dismiss, especially as GPU costs soar and deployment budgets tighten. In simple terms, China isn't just building better AI, it's changing the economics of artificial intelligence altogether. And if OpenAI, Google, and their Silicon Valley counterparts don't adapt fast, they may find themselves outpaced not just technically, but strategically. We're witnessing a seismic shift in the AI world, and it's not coming from Silicon Valley. It's coming from Beijing, Shenzhen, and Hangzhou. Chinese tech giants like Tencent, BYU, Baidu, and Huawei have launched a wave of high-performance open-source AI models that are cheaper, faster, and more accessible than anything we've seen from the West in recent months. These aren't half-baked prototypes. We're talking about industry-grade models with advanced reasoning, multi-agent search, massive context windows, real-time deployment options, and powerful multimodal capabilities. And best of all, they're open. No paywalls, no licensing nightmares. Just code, weights, and real-world usability. Meanwhile, OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic continue to guard their flagship models behind tightly controlled APIs and high price tags. That strategy may have worked last year, but in a world where you can download a 400 billion parameter model off GitHub with near GPT-4 level performance, that's starting to feel outdated. This isn't just about competition. It's about control, cost, and creativity. Open-source models allow faster iteration, localized development, and broader access for students, researchers, and startups. And when governments like China back these efforts with funding, hardware, and national strategy, they're not just competing with the West, they're racing past it. So what happens next? Will Western companies double down on proprietary dominance? Or will they be forced to open the gates just to stay relevant? One thing's clear, the open source wave is here, and it's not slowing down. What do you think? Can OpenAI keep up with this pace? Is Google ready for this kind of pressure? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're covering the AI revolution in real time, and this is just the beginning. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.